IT policy, the IT policy 2016, and the startup policy of the government of Uttar Pradesh. And probably I'm the only bureaucrat for the day and probably the only bureaucrat for the entire conference. I think I need a ticker. Yes. See, Uttar Pradesh is the largest state in the country, so I'm not going to talk more about it. The reason we are here, so you can see a digital Uttar Pradesh. That's what the policy is aiming to do. So we have a huge ecosystem. You see, Delhi NCR, Noida and Ghaziabad is already a part of the IT ecosystem of NCR. And we also have a new policy which was passed up by the UP cabinet somewhere in April, and we already have all the government orders through. So the model, I will explain you the model very soon. And we'll also have a very new IT policy, which is like the last policy was in somewhere in 2014, and we revised it to 2016. So which is up to date with the requirements of the IT industry. And you're also having the IT electronic manufacturing policy, looking at Noida as a hub for the next 10, 20 years to come. So that the largest manufacturing companies like Samsung, LG, Oppo, Micromax, we are looking at every other electronic manufacturing company to come in Noida. And I'm going to talk about some of the recent initiatives and the policy implementation unit. This is one of the states where the policy implementation unit is run by one of the big four consultants of the world. The KPMG is our knowledge partner in running our policy. So you can see one of the government right now headed by Akhilesh Yadav. I'm also secretary to the Honorable Chief Minister. So we have been running a lot of projects. You must be knowing that some people must be from Lucknow. We are having the largest and the fastest growing metro network in Uttar Pradesh. And there is this Lucknow-Agra Expressway. It is the largest road network connecting from Agra to Lucknow. It's 300 kilometers of expressway. One of the largest after Delhi, Jaipur, and Bombay, Pune. And we are also doing a lot of other projects along with this one, the metro, the Trans-Ganga. So it's a huge scope of infrastructure. If you want a country to grow and the state to grow, the government has to lead in infrastructure projects. That's a vision of the Honorable Chief Minister which has been doing. And size doesn't matter in UP. It's the largest state, and I think probably it's the only state which largest number of cities. So you have a lot of urban conglomeration. In the shortest, every 100 kilometers you have like 1 million city. I think probably one of those few states in the country which has a 1 million cities everywhere. So you see a market, which means the population converts into a market space for everyone to grow. And you can see the strategic advantage. We have 47 national highways, 24 SEZs. People say that we do not exist in the IT space. This is news for them. And 57% of the East Freight Corridor, which extends from Delhi to Kolkata, 57% of the East Freight Corridor is in Uttar Pradesh. The rest is in Bihar, and some part is in Delhi. And very few, some few kilometers are in the West Bengal. These are the new 3 policies which has been brought up in the last 2 years, which has been enabling the state to become a leader in IT and electronics. So I'm going to this startup policy, which is a very pretty new policy where we have been doing it. And this was passed by the UP cabinet somewhere in April of this year. So you look at the entire ecosystem of the startup in the same policy, like incubator, fund of funds, and the startup entrepreneur. So these are the 3 important components of our startup policy, and it's also the 3 important components of the startup ecosystem as well. So that's why we call it infused model. So we are taking care of every component of the ecosystem. So the policy benefits, we are trying to set up at least 100 incubators in the next 2 years, which means we are looking at 5,000 seats in the next 2 years, where the incubators can be set up in every government college, government premises, universities, and also the government PSUs. So we have already sanctioned two incubators in the last meeting. It was a day before, where IIT BHU and KNIT Sultanpur has been allotted an incubator. And in the next 1-2 months to come, we are looking at 1,000 more seats to happen in UP. Other than that, we are also looking at tying up with SIDBI to fund the fund of funds. All those startups which are growing in UP, where they need funds to cope up. So we will also refinance them. So if the fund is funding on the entrepreneur in UP, they'll be refinanced by the government, state government policy, which is around 100 crores. And we are empowering a lot of mentors. So one of the reasons we are participating in these events is that we need a lot of mentors to help startups to grow. It's not just money which helps them to grow. So the mentors are the more important soul of the entire startup system. So we have a policy where we'll give them 2 lakhs per annum. It might not be a big amount, but it will also take care of their traveling allowances, staying allowances when they come, when they stay in UP, and then help them. AKTU is the largest technical university in Uttar Pradesh, which has been helping us to build up this ecosystem. We are looking at 100 incubators being set up in all the university and the colleges in UP. So they are our collaborator in doing it. We are also tying up with a Singapore-based agency to do it. So the entire work, we are looking, UP being the largest agriculture-based society, and we also look, agriculture has a lot of innovation to happen. Because there's no market analysis of what should be grown. Suddenly you see prices of onion in a different way. So there has to be a lot of innovation which has to happen in IT field. And if you see IT and agriculture IT, and there is a lot of scope to happen in agriculture IT. So one of the things which we have been forerunning in UP is that we want a lot of rural innovation to happen. We see a lot of urban innovation happening. You have Shopify, you have people who can deliver food services, you have everything. But something which has been lacking in the last the decade of innovation is that rural innovation. Like I met a person in the morning, they said like, we are looking at maternal health. And look at the size of this people, that's the size of UP which there's a market for it. So there is always this rural innovation has to be encouraged. And that's the reason we have been setting up the huge corpus. This is for this financial year. 100 crores is for this financial year. We are looking at a bigger corpus, somewhere 10 times this value for the next financial year to happen. Because we are in the last quarter of this financial year. This, I think I don't have to give you a yarn on this, but still, startup, I always believe the next decade is going to be a decade of innovation. And if you look at innovation, it has to happen through startups. The larger organization, they do have scope for innovation, but I think the real innovation is to happen through the startups, which is very important for every other agency also. It's in fact, I think that's the reason Tatas are going to invest in startups. Ideas really come from the field, and fresh ideas, cheap ideas, and cost-effective ideas. That's exactly what we are looking at. And why should government get into the space of startups? That's one question which everybody has to understand. One of the reasons we brought this startup policy is that government is the one which has to help people to take that early risk, the early risk in incubation stage. You look at 1 year of your incubation, it's going to be risk-based. So there, the governments should come in and provide a lot of scope. After 1 year, your startup is good, somebody is going to come and hold you for some time. So early stage, I think probably government is very important in the first stage of incubation, at least for the first year, for some time to happen. This is, in general, the IT policy of Uttar Pradesh, which has been updated with the requirements of the industry. So we give them the interest subsidy for this 7 years. One of the reasons why 7, when you put 7, you actually, the interest subsidy, you actually do not spend money. You take back what you have invested. So which means whatever capital you have put, you get it without paying your interest. So technically, that's the reason we have, from 5, we have moved to 7 years. We are also giving 100% reimbursement in the EPF. Whatever EPF you're putting, we are giving you 100% reimbursement. And other smaller things which you think to get certification and the lease rent, probably this is the biggest advantage which you have in UP. Noida is one of those most expensive areas in the country. And 25% lease rate means a lot to an IT industry. And Noida being in the NCR, it makes a lot of difference. And 100% exemption on electricity duty. And we are also looking at case-to-base incentives. If you are bringing a huge investment up to 200 crores, will give you a better package, better than the policy, more than whatever the policy provides. We also give you, one of those problems which you always have is getting licenses from every other unit. So the UP government has a PAU which is run by KPMG, which is also a single window system, where you just put in one application and the rest of the work is done by them. You don't have to run to every other office, which is pretty new. Maybe it's not new to people in Bangalore. For an UP system, it's pretty new, where you have actually a working single window system. And self-certification, it's one of those things which has been initiated from UP. We do not take any court affidavits. Whatever you say, we take your signature and we approve that as the request. We also promote IT activities during the government events. We have been doing, this is also a government which is been sponsored by the government. And one of the other things which we have, right now we have SCL is running the biggest IT city in Lucknow. And this unit has been running, they have been tying up with the skill development mission, and all the payment, the training cost is borne by the government. And we are also, this is something not very new to Bangalore, but this is new to Uttar Pradesh, 24/7 operations and uninterrupted power supply. And generally, it is almost the same policy as IT, except for the packages which we have in EMC. This is the incubator which is run by the government. So you'll be surprised, the government wanted to test its policy before being implemented. So this is the IT UPN. UPN literally means nursery. So this has been the most successful unit outside NCR. This is running in Lucknow. And we have 60 seats now, and it's going to be expanded to 100 seats. This is the IT City Lucknow, which is run by SCL, which is the largest. We did an RFP to get them. And it's going this October, very soon, we are starting this IT City Lucknow. And we have also many IT parks coming in smaller cities. You'll always see that a lot of North Indians coming here and working in Bangalore. So we thought it would be easy for them to work from their own Lucknow. It's closer to the home and be helpful to their own families and all. As I spoke in the beginning, this is nothing to do with it, but brief idea is what UP has been doing in this field of electronic manufacturing. There's this buzz going around, the Noida would be the next Shenzhen of India. And you can visit our stall, it's there in the exhibitors area. And you're free to talk to our representatives there. And we are ready to, one of the reasons we are attending this conference is to get mentors. That's the most important thing. We think that that's the thing which will drive innovation, startup. People have ideas. There are many, many ideas. I think the next generation has to be like, we have to learn to share ideas. We have seen like a lot of fears where we stopped sharing ideas. And mentorship is one place where I knew what wrongs I did, and this would help the other ones not to do those. So one of the reasons the government has put up a stall in Bangalore in this event is to look for many other mentors to come, help your fellow Indians. UP is India and India is UP. If you have to see, it's not just this part of the country growing, it has to be UP and Bihar which has to grow in a big time to make this India as the most service-based society. Thank you so much.